Good morning, friends. Tuesday, and it's great to be with you this morning. I'm up on the veranda, by the way, of my home, overlooking the hills and the Scottish rampant lion flag behind me. You remember at the outset of lockdown, noisy, aren't they? Remember at the outset of lockdown, I did a couple of services and devotions up here. Well, it seems we've done the full circle and I'm back where I started. Hopefully I've made a little progress since then. But anyway, the parables of Jesus is recorded for us in the Gospel of Luke. In particular, Luke chapter 15, a lost sheep. And on Sunday last, we were speaking about the lost son, or rather the lost sons, because there were two lads who really lost their way. There's a third parable in that series of parables, and that's about a woman who had 10 coins, and she loses one of them. Now, probably it was a bridal headgear that she wore. Maybe it was a wedding that was coming up, or it was a wedding that had happened, but either way, it was a bridal headgear, veil, and one of the coins fell off, because there would be coins hanging down. One fell off, and she searches high and low. She sweeps that house till there is not one speck of dust left in the home, until she finds it. And it was a diligent search, and having found it, she calls her friends and her neighbors together and says, "Rejoice with me." And then Jesus says, "I tell you, in a similar way, there is more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents." And it underlines for us the value that God places upon individuals, upon people who really know their need of God. And the diligence of God in looking and looking and looking until he finds us. You and I, being part of God's family, is the fruit of a long, long search that God undertook until he brought us back home to himself. I think we need to hear that. The lockdown days have been challenging, and they've been challenging for the church, and we hear lots of words and statements about what the church should be doing. Well, I hope at the end of the day the church will never forsake its role of being a shepherd, of looking after people, individuals, people who feel they don't count, don't matter, forgotten people who've been sitting behind closed doors, experiencing that most awful feeling of loneliness. That's what I hope the church can do, even I can do. And all of us can be shepherds, looking after others, caring for others. But this is a parable about God's search for you and for me. How wonderful is our God, the creator of heaven and earth, and yet concerned about us. That is a God worth worshipping. That is a God worth serving. God be with you.